Okay.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
Bitch. Bitch. Bitch.
Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
Bitch. Bitch. Get one. Bitch.
I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious.
As you know, I'm just the champ who does champ shit. I'm just out here testing chins and taking names. I just try my best. You know, it was a good fight. Shout out to my opponent. But it's what I do, man.
Get out the way, Ariel. Get out the way.
That's me. Yes, sir.
You're muted, Jay. Welcome, guys. We are back. Another Wednesday. We live. It's MMA Underground. I'm your host, Sam K, along with the one and only Jay. And man, we have and still the young OG himself, the light heavyweight champion of Streetbeefs West Coast, the one, the only Broly Blakk in the building.
What's going on, y'all?
How you feeling, man?
Blessed and highly favored. I can't complain. You know, I'm just out here shining like a young OG should.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And for everyone watching, we want to apologize for the technical difficulties. Please bear with us. We're gonna have a fire show nonetheless. Um, Man, coming off of the 5-year anniversary, you had a hell of a performance, and then right afterwards, you came back the following event, and in my opinion, you topped your performance at the prior event. And in my opinion, you had fight of the year with your last bout. And I want to talk about those two fights specifically. What's your take on those? You can start with either one you want.
Um, I mean, first and foremost, it was an honor to step in the ring with Takamura. Takamura has been one of the guys I've watched since I was like, before I even started Streetbeefs. So it was an honor to be going against somebody I considered one of the greats, one of the titans of the sport, especially in our division. And honestly, it didn't feel good having to put pause on him, but I had to get it done. I was going out there to establish myself, and there was no room for any emotion in that situation. And he's a nice guy. He is literally one of the most amazing people I've ever met. He's nice. He's supportive. He's God fearing. With that, just all around perfect man as a whole. And before the fight, he was like, talking to me. He was like, "Should I just give you the belt now? Should I just,
Very humble, very, very humble.
literally so humble." But he came out there like a beast. He was not playing. And while he was being nice and humble, he went out there and he got to work. He landed some good shots on me, and he wrung my ear for a week or two. He had popped me like right in the left ear, and like my shit was sore. Like every time like my ear would pop, I just felt it. But it was a great fight with him nonetheless. In multiple people's opinion, the fight was over in the first round after that knockdown. Like it was a clear knockout after it took him a second to get up, but it was nothing but respect for that man because he got up and he came back to work. So we got a couple more rounds in, and honestly, I would have rather had him do the 5 rounds than quit in the first. So it was great to have that opportunity to be in the ring with him. Unfortunately, no one will ever get to see such a spectacle, but you live and you learn.
Yeah, man. For those who don't know, the footage was not captured. It was lost. Cell phones were basically damaged or out of memory. There was multiple phones used and multiple mishaps in that fight, unfortunately. But it will always live on as a legendary bout, and we'll speak about it in a legendary way.
I'm in my podcast right now with the Street Beefs guys.
Nobody's here?
Yeah, not yet. I've been doing this since 5:30.
Oh, my bad.
You all good. My bad. My coach just showed up.
Oh, it's all good. What up, Coach?
Said, "What's up?"
What's going on, fam?
Hey, and that's a good, perfect segue, man, because you had Coach there, you had the team there, I believe for both fights, and I hadn't seen that from you before, so I wanted to know personally, like, how did that, if anything, how does that affect you having your team, your coach, present at your fights?
Honestly, the support is phenomenal. Like, this is not just a team. It's not just like having a coach. It's like having your family there. It's like knowing that the people who support you and they bleed with you, they sweat with you, they cry with you, they're there. Like, it definitely boosts your self-esteem. It boosts your confidence. It helps you a lot when you're trying to get some work done. And honestly, I was afraid that they weren't going to be able to make it to the talk fight. I actually I asked Isaac to hold back and like just push my fight back a little bit so that they had time to get there because they were running late. And they ended up making it like right before I fought, and that was great. Um, it's a community that has overall brought me to a different point in my career. Like honestly, it's like having the perfect support system, having people who push you to be better. It's like iron sharpening iron on a daily basis. My coach is one of those people who is known for his hospitality and his his willingness to help others. We work out in a garage. This is a garage. You know what I'm saying? He started his first gym in a garage at his house, and he eventually ended up upscaling to this space, which is slightly bigger than his garage that he had before. Um, but he's been doing this, and he trains kids and all of us for free. Like we don't come out of pocket training with him. He's doing this to support us and to support his community, and I have nothing but respect for that man. And I work as hard as I do because I want to make sure that his work or his effort and his energy into us go what's the word unrecognized, or it's not done in vain. That's pretty much it. Like I do it because I want to make sure that we reach the full potential that he intends for us to, which honestly is all that it's meant to be. And even for my take on the man's fight, like when I was there, like we trained for that fight for 8 weeks, and once I knew that I was fighting the man, he sat there watching the man's film. He watched my film. He watched everything back to back to back to back, hours on end, just studying film to know like what I needed to work on to get me ready for it. And it ended up becoming like second nature. When I actually stepped in the ring, I just started to understand like what to be expecting. But the man himself did amateurs for about 8 years. He told me this, and it shows. Like it shows within his technique. It shows IQ, his movement. Mom was coaching him and helping him through the amateurs while he was in there. So her IQ was phenomenal, and they worked really well together. I could tell that she knew how he operates and what to expect. And expect him to be easy work, and that was definitely shown in that fight as well. Because his mom had told me afterwards that we studied you too. Like she was like, you think they over there watching your old stuff and just expecting you to do the same thing? No, they know you finna switch it up. They also making sure if you do the same thing, they ready for it. So you got to switch it up too. So
Yeah. We had him on the show a few weeks back, and he was very much prepped, and he was adamant about showing how prepared he was. So I want to hold off, not get too deep on that fight too soon. I want to go back to the talk fight and really, everything that you're talking about pertaining to the man fight. Was that done for the Takamura fight? Were you watching film? Did you adjust your training specifically for him? Like, what was that lead up like? Because Talk was, or is, a he's a big name, and he's had some legendary fights. So, and a former champion. So,
yeah. When I tell you that I was ultimately doing the exact same thing, because I've been treating all my most recent fights as if they're pro level. I study film, I watch the guy, I think about all of the ins and outs, the variables, everything that could happen might happen. So you have to, the unexpected. I was getting ready for Tox fight in the same way. I was pushing my conditioning. I did a lot of strength training for that fight actually because I wanted to make sure I had enough power to knock somebody as big as him down. And that included doing 8-mile excuse me. That included doing 8-mile runs with a weighted vest on. strength training, heavy sparring with my partner, the one who had his debut at the last fight.
Okay.
Is Hollow Oni. We know him by Big Chok Chok. So you'll watch the fight and hear that name. But yeah, he is 280 pounds. 288 pounds is what he weighed in at for the last fight. But that's a big dude. And against Tok, I couldn't settle for somebody that was 180. I couldn't settle for one quick and stuff. I had to be prepared for explosive power. And so it's the same thing. Like, I prepare myself for my opponents. But I think this is like I don't know if I've told you this before, like, off record, but the way I train for my fights isn't like I'm training for anyone specifically. I train to be ready for anything. Because, you may know how somebody fought before, or you may think that you know how somebody operates on a daily basis, but you never know who you're really stepping in the ring with. Some guys are fighting demons, some guys are fighting heartbreak, some guys are dealing with other stuff, and they might want to let that shit out on you in the middle of that ring one day. And, you got to be ready for anything. They might become an entirely different person, to move completely different. They might try something they've never tried before against you because, you could fight 100 guys, but if you ain't fought me, then I don't know what to expect, But yeah, no, the training regimen was definitely, if not more intense, for Takamura, because I knew who I was going against, and from what I heard, he was holding down that title with an iron fist. He didn't make it. I saw the Squatch man, or the Sasquatch, I think his name is. The light-skinned fella he fought.
Okay.
He fought him, and when I first saw the Sasquatch, I'm thinking, I bet he'll be a good matchup. And then I saw Tok dominate over him, and I'm like, yeah, if I'm going against Tok, then I got no business being in the ring with somebody that can't even handle a couple of rounds with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was definitely like, looking at somebody like a giant in my eye.
Yeah.
It was a David and Goliath moment. I was really, I felt pretty small compared to Takamura. But once the day came, I told myself it's time to lock in. It's time to get the work done. So I just showed up and I showed out. And I'm so mad we lost that footage. That first round knockout was crazy, bro.
Yeah, I was pretty upset too. Because I remember, and it's not this guy's fault. I gotta remind myself and everyone. But I was looking at the camera guy pretty heated, bro. The whole fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't feel like Tok was actually knocked out. I know you for sure, for sure he was concussed. And he said that was something that he said multiple times. He was like, yeah, I for sure got a concussion, but I had to keep going. We'd never seen Tok take a hit like that. And it was devastating. It was definitely devastating. It made a statement. Again, without the footage, I can't really go back and see from the outside, how it really looked or how it really was. I could completely be wrong and misjudge, but I do remember, I remember him, taking a nasty lick, and it looked like he took a few steps as he fell back. Like he went back a few, it wasn't just like an instant drop. He went back a few. And yeah, the crowd reacted, we're all kind of like, whoa, in shock. And, he got up, and there were some people who felt like he was starting to make a comeback towards the end of the fight. I remember hearing someone say, had it been, a longer, maybe Tok might have took it, but I felt like Tok he was regaining himself. He was regaining his composure, but I don't feel like you were losing that day. No matter how long the fight would have continued, you were conditioned, like you said, as we saw, you were conditioned, and yeah, it was a lot of damage, that you were outputting, and you took some good shots as well. You took some good shots. Your defense, the pivoting, the slips, I see you really upping those up, man, and getting at it. Uh, what has been something, because I've personally noticed, and maybe it's due to the team and your coach, but how has your training changed over the course of let's say the past few years?
Um, Naturally, it's definitely more of like a community kind of situation. 'Cause I used to be trained by myself, so I didn't really have
Remember?
nobody was really around me to push me a little bit harder than I would push myself.
Yep.
But the cardio we run every day, Monday through Friday. We are set scheduled training, and then Saturday and Sunday I get training in by myself. Even when the gym is closed, so I'll probably show up here by myself, and I'll get some bag work in. I'll run, Uh, I think that's really what it is. Like, I'm consistently working with better fighters. I'm not just training by myself or with other people or trying to just punch a bag at a random practicing what I know. I'm working with other people who have IQs and other their own that have helped me adapt and become better at what I do. Working with my coach, Drew Foster, has honestly been one of those things that has it's helped me reach a level in boxing that I don't think I would have been able to reach just alone as fast. It would have taken me a couple of years, if not longer, to develop these skills on my own. But being with him, I pretty much put the process on speed dial. Everything is just coming to me. Every day I'm working on something new. I'm working on new combos, new techniques, new little tricks to use. So it's definitely my team that helps me because my team is amazing. Everyone has. I have a couple of friends fighting in the amateurs, getting ready to fight for belts. One of my friends, he's 4 or 5-0 in amateurs. DJ Nadu, he's literally one of the best. He's great. Not to mention, we train with other gyms like Jackrabbit from the world famous Jackrabbit boxing gym, Hill Street, and these are some top guys that we spar with. It doesn't even stop there. We get guys coming around from all over the city. We've had guys that want to come train with us from Streetbeefs, from people from the former pros, people who have earned their stripes in the world of fighting. They come and give us pointers. They're giving us mitt work, back work, advice on what we should be doing, on how we should be moving. And we're pushing drills. Drillers make killers, and that's the motto. So,
Put it on a shirt.
Huh?
I said, put it on a shirt. They'll buy it.
Yeah. Cardio is key.
Yes, something I noticed, and not too many champions do that. You won the belt, and then you immediately had a title defense right after that. What was the thought process behind that?
Well, first and foremost, I had no footage to prove that I was the champion. I told myself, best thing I could do is come back and show them.
Okay.
And so I said, I got to go out. Not only that, once I found out I was fighting the man, I said there was no in that fight. I sprained, or I think I fractured one of my bottom bones right here, right before the fight. Dealing with some stupid situation, ended up getting my hand smashed. So my hand was messed up. Couldn't even make a fist. The day of the fight, I was struggling with a fist completely, and then everyone's telling me hey, you shouldn't even fight. You could hurt yourself more. And I said, I'm not missing this. I'm not forfeiting my title. I'm not showing up for a fight. There's no way I'm not gonna come and get that shit done. So I had a bunch of reasons not to do it. I was already the champ. I already had my belt. Like, I fought Talk and like, I did what I did, but it was more like not just proving it to others, but proving it to myself.
Yeah.
Proving to it that I can get it done, and that I deserve to be where I'm at. I put the work in, and I wasn't going to forfeit all of that work just to break or give myself excuses. So,
I respect it.
yeah, and the man is honestly one of the most formidable opponents I've ever had. He was one of the people I really wanted to fight. I called him out a long time ago. The first time I ever saw his fight, when he fought Humble Beast, I said, that guy right there, I want to fight. That's the guy I want to fight. I told everybody I want to fight the man. He's going to be the next fight. If I got to fall on my skin, I'll do it. Like, whatever happens. And then they announced our fight. He literally went back and he screenshot the comment I said beneath his post. I was like, yo, I got to fight you. We got to get a good scrapping before I retire from Streetbeefs. He said, we got to make it happen. I said, see you there. Like, we put it into fruition. Like, it was one of that we literally spoke into existence. We made that. I'm so happy that we did because while I may have won, I most certainly won, and I want to let everybody know this right now. The man is a force to be reckoned with. He hits hard. He has amazing technique. He definitely can take a few punches. I was throwing a few of them, but I was still pulling a little bit on my right hand. I can't lie, because that shit was starting to hurt during the fight. And I was just like, fuck it. Like, I let my adrenaline take over, and I was just like, all right, I got to get it done anyway. So I actually got the knockdown with my right hand. I had switched off, and I pivoted to the left, switched, bow, and then I came up with the right, and that was when he dropped.
Man, I gotta say, and this is the perfect segue. As I'm driving down to the event, and I got Scarface with me, and Scarface leans over and he's like, "Man, so what are what are some of the guys? What are some of the fights? I need to be looking out for today. Is there anybody?" I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "There's one in particular. The one fight you gonna have to watch and stay glued, eyes glued to, is the one title fight we have today." "Oh yeah, who's that?" Blakk versus the man. "Oh yeah." I said, "Yeah, just watch." And I gave him a little, backstory on both of you guys. And I don't know, if you caught wind of what was going on in the moment or if they told you afterwards, but like he was live streaming, showing the OG yard, what's up, you know what I'm saying? And he said it himself. He was only going to live stream that first round. The action was so good. I'm pretty sure he live streamed the whole fight. I'm pretty sure he live streamed the whole fight. I'm pretty sure he deleted it by now, but like in the moment, I mean, it was that crazy, and he told me personally, like, you're one of those guys, he's like, I got a new favorite out in the West Coast, there's a couple guys out there, but that Blakk, yeah, so just had to let you know for sure, you did your damn thing, man.
I appreciate that, for real.
Yeah.
I saw that stream and I started throwing it to my teammates. I'm like, yeah, I heard him say I'm one of his favorites. I was like,
Yeah. And it's only because of the action, man. What y'all brought in that fight, was it was incredible. You know what I'm saying? The first round, both men cut. There's blood. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's so much action. I'm looking over and I'm like, man, Scarface is gonna kill me, man, because these guys are bleeding. And I'm like, man, I gotta get him to stop the blood. But at the same time, like, I know what this fight is gonna be. We're gonna patch it up. There's gonna reopen. We're gonna be leaking all over again. You know what I mean? We patch it up. Okay, we got a new cut now. You know, it's like just one of those fights, man. But fight of the year, easily. Fight of the year.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that, Samke, and it means a lot coming from you because I've looked up to you and like your IQ, your wisdom on fighting in general, like and if it wasn't for you giving me those pointers before, like I probably would have still been in my in my ways a little bit too, because even before I started training with them, I was getting those virtual videos from you, like what to work on, what I needed to do, and I was practicing. I was like I showed you like that's what I was working on, like throwing my shots a lot more straighter, like turning my hips over, like using more power, and it shows. Like I was able to get that knockdown on Talk. I got the knockdown on the man. I recently won my PBSC fight that I had. So
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. What's that about for those who don't know?
So PBSC is the point boxing system circuit, and it was it's called the Self-Made Night of Champions. Basically, they run an event where boxers from all over the city come together and they're boxing in like a hard sparring circuit. No knockouts allowed, only semi-contact. But knockouts do happen. If you throw a hard enough shot to the body, if somebody can't handle like a straight two to the chin, they might get knocked down. It happens. But
do they penalize you for that?
It depends. So if the fighter can't continue, it could be a technical win. One guy got a knockout. He knocked the guy down pretty hard, and he got his win. So, if you dominate in the fight, it really can depend. But
Okay.
I wasn't going for that. I didn't want to win that way. I told myself that I'm coming out here to get the points. Like, I wanted to showcase my ability to land shots and accumulate points during a fight instead of just brute power. Like I've done that a lot in my past fights where I just use like that overwhelming power against my opponent. But that was after dealing with Mike 100. If you watch that Mike 100 fight back, he came back with a cut. And I didn't go straight to work. I literally started like tapping him. Like I didn't want to hit him hard. Like it's just like things like that. Like I was so humble and pacifist mentality. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I never wanted to hurt anybody. Being in this sport, honestly, it was kind of hard to do anything, win any fights without having to hurt somebody. So I wanted to accumulate the points. I wanted to make sure that I was like, landing. And I think I'm getting better at that. But my precision and my power have gotten good enough to the point where I might as well use that too. That's why I used it on Talk and the man. This fight, I did decide for the PBSC fight. I did decide to pull my punches and make sure that I'm landing myself out the way of some punches. I took some good ones, but I just like to make fights look good sometimes. I like to
make it a show a little bit.
I'm gonna always come out on top, and that's how I look at it. I got to be careful with that though. I want a long career, so I don't want to take too much head trauma.
Facts. Staying responsible.
Exactly, staying responsible guard, sir. Beauty.
Yeah, but to your point, I saw that towards the end of the fight with the man, where both of you guys' power started to weigh out, right? The power wasn't there on both ends, but you started to, or not even started, you kept up the volume. You kept up the volume and you were throwing these like point-like shots where it was overwhelming. There was no point in which it looked like the man could really just gather himself, catch his bearings, and it takes a certain fighter to know when it's time to do that, and also to have the conditioning to do that, later in the fight. So yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate that. Conditioning, cardio is key, as you know. So conditioning was one of the things that my coach made sure that we implemented daily. He said one was gas out. Like, you can get knocked out. You take a body shot, whatever. Like, if it happens, it happens. But one thing you're not going to do is get tired in the middle of that ring.
Right.
Sure that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, because at that point, I mean, that's all you. That, if you let your opponent play with you in that way, regardless, that's still you, and before you get in that ring, it's what you're doing or not doing, So yeah, when you said 8 miles, I was like, oh yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
And I'm talking like with a weighted vest. Like I was literally pushing nonstop, no breaks, no water. I just pushed straight fucking willpower through a weighted vest in 8 miles. I said, this is what got to be done. I did that consistently for about 2 or 3 days before that fight, and it helped a lot.
Hell yeah. So, bro, what's the goal, man? You seem to have like this next gear, this next level of drive. What are we aiming for ultimately?
I want to be the best. I am the best in the making, and I treat myself as such. My goals are unworldly, if I'm being honest. Like, if like as far as like the face value of it, I just want to be, a champion at everything I do. Like, once I got that belt, it gave me a different level of confidence and a different set of intentions. I realized that, being a champ is something that I'm destined to do. And a champion's mindset is not built like, through the success that you have, built through the work that you put in to get that success. So when I see myself like, putting in the work, putting in on training, I'm telling myself, if I want to be a champion, I got to go a little bit harder.
We in the garage for real.
That's the garage for you. You.
I was just trying to figure out what machine that was.
Mini bike.
Mini bike. Yeah. I was thinking like a little motorcycle, but then I was like, man, so it could be cutting grass up in there. Who knows? Fucking something I was thinking about, completely unrelated but related. To see your growth, right? It's funny because it reminds me of Broly in Dragon Ball currently, and how he seems to have grasped his uncontrollable anger and power, right? He seems to have got to a point where he can manage his output. And we're seeing that with you. You know what I'm saying? Just had to throw that out there. The anime nerd in me, not even the DBZ nerd in me came out. But yeah, that's dope.
Honestly, yeah. Like the way he went from being the untamable beast, like, just sheer power, no training, nothing but like, the basic stuff. Like,
Raw. Just raw.
He was pretty much trained through experience that equipped him and enabled him and weathered him, like, for that storm. But once he got comfortable and started training with Goku and Vegeta, which is the compound. That's nice. But yes, when I started training with that higher level of a fighter, somebody who had real fight experience, like, he became more grounded and more in control of those emotions, that rage, and he was able to utilize the artistic side of fighting. And I say that is because it's beautiful. It is genuinely so beautiful to see how chaotic a fight could be. But in the midst of all of that, a fighter is calm and able to make these precise decisions and, acclimate to the intensity of that situation and be able to precisely make punches, land shots, to step off and create angles. Like, it's like a dance. It's like a dance almost. And I just love that. He's having fun out there.
Bruh's doing a donut right in front of you. Like, no lie. Just this for the champ right here.
Like,
You gonna see the logo on the ground when he done. The logo of y'all gym.
out there.
Yeah, man. So shoot, man. I think that's a good segue into last event. You brought over one of your teammates who fought as well, correct?
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said this is a perfect segue into last event. You brought with you one of your teammates to fight as well. You want to talk about that fight with your teammate?
Oh yeah, man. My boy D. Yeah, we call him Big Chak Chak, but for some reason he named himself Hollow Oni.
Oni. Yeah.
No idea where he got this name from. He came up with it on the spot, and I'm just like, okay. But
We're gonna have to get him on the show and find out what that's about. You know what I'm saying?
that'll actually be a good person to come on, because he's going to be representing. He's going to be taking my spot as one of the representatives for the California team in the tournament next year.
Interesting.
So Caleb Coyote, El Coyote, he reached out to me directly and asked me if I would help represent the team as one of the California fighters. And I told him my coach doesn't really see me being in Streetbeefs anymore. No, y'all can come train. Just close the door. Jesus. But yeah, basically, he asked me to help represent. I told him, like, Streetbeefs might be in my, like, not as, like, a place in my heart, because I will always, this is like where I got it all started at. So definitely always going to remember this place. But as far as being a fighter, I've established myself. I've done what I came to do. Like, I got a belt. I was hoping to maybe make the Hall of Fame, but I'm only 8 fights in, and I don't know if I'm gonna get 2 more before I get my amateur card. So it was really, 2025 is definitely probably my last year.
Gotcha.
So, but 2026, that's my boy Hollow. Like, I told D, like, I got an opportunity for you. Like, we can go out there and, test some chins and take some names like the champ himself. And you become the champ yourself, And he was all for it. Once he saw that big dog belt, oh yeah, nah, y'all gonna have to, y'all got to be willing to kill that man. And in order to be willing to kill that man, you got to be ready to die. All right, because he's one of my hardest sparring partners. So.
And he's a big boy, for sure. He put some damage on the guy he fought. I forgot the fighter he fought, but he definitely he made a statement real quick.
Me and my coach, everybody was laughing. The guy he fought, did you ref that fight?
I can't remember, to be honest. I don't think I did, though. I don't think I did. But I could have.
Oh no, it was you. You asked him, can you continue? And he was like, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes, man. And can't even blame them dudes, I can't even blame them,
What the fight? Asked me if my teammate was the guy he was fighting, and I'm like, yeah, you're fighting him. And he told me, he's like, fuck. I knew I should have cut weight. I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Scared to get in there with him, but that's where you lose the fight, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Go in there knowing that you can do anything. Men bleed the same way you do, and if you do it right, you could be the one that comes out on top, no matter how big the guy is. That's how I went against. You know what I'm saying? Like going against Talk was not easy. It wasn't mentally. I'm thinking to myself like, I know he's durable. I know he can take punches. I know that he's not going to be an easy person to knock down. And I was actually surprised when I knocked him down in that first round because I hit him with a lead uppercut, two, and then I just threw a two. I stepped in and I ended up throwing the my right hand as a two, and I saw him go down. I stood there for a second and looked at him like, oh shit, I did that. Fuck. Hey, yeah, that's what I do. Like, you know, I had this after I realized I did it. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
That's the mentality you gotta have. That's how champions are made. You know what I'm saying? To face adversity with a calm mind and you know, a possible win in your future.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. All you need is a possibility.
Facts. And anything is possible, man. You just got to take that risk. And, you know, that's the beauty of the fight. You know, who's going to take the risk? One thing I wanted to say personally to you, man, is you've come through and you've really done some epic, legendary fights. You know what I mean? In a short amount of time, you've had some great fights. And I think people forget, you know, some of these classic bouts that you've had. And, you know, really it does make sense for you to go on and you know, hit the amateur circuit, you know, and, you know, go as far as you can with that and, you know, further beyond if you choose. But definitely looking forward to Hollow Oni coming through. And for those who don't know, what we were talking about earlier in terms of Hollow Oni and possibly getting a belt next year. Next year, Streetbeefs West Coast is introducing Dirty Boxing. And we're going to have a tournament that is going to basically be for a belt at the end of that tournament. And if you guys are looking, you know, for any more information for that, you can go to Heart and Fight. You can go to the Streetbeefs West Coast Facebook, and you'll see all the info on that. But there's some big things coming with the dirty boxing, the bare knuckle dirty boxing. And yeah, man. Whew. What's your thoughts on that?
On the fight coming up or the tournament?
Yeah. The dirty boxing tournament.
Yeah, once I saw it, I was like, man, I'm mad because this is not a good time to be leaving the street. That belt. I tell myself, damn, I'd love to add that one to the collection. You know what I'm saying? But
that belt do look nice.
Nice belt, boy. That's clean, dog. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, it's gonna be amazing. Honestly, you know, it's gonna really show the heart in the fighters because you know it's a different level of intensity, and I believe it's lighter gloves, right? You're fighting in tens.
Yeah. You're damn near bare knuckle. You're doing elbows are allowed, and you know, depending on the scenario, ground and pound is allowed as well to the ref's discretion. So, I mean,
Slices backyard boogies with gloves. That's all that is for real. So you bringing back that OG status? Hell yeah, that's exactly what the energy of Streetbeefs has kind of like, you know, been on. Like, you know, that's kind of I see it started as. We've just kind of evolved. Like people ask me all the time, like, oh, you do the backyard squabbles? You do the backyard fights? I'm like, basically, I fight in the backyard. But now it's sanctioned. It's not what Kimbo Slice did before, but you know, the dirty boxing is allowing people to come back and do that, but with actual stakes. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got a belt on the line, like, you know, it's more sanctioned. I believe there are going to be medics now from now on, especially with like, you know, the waivers that need to be signed and stuff because of potential injuries. So everything's becoming more legit. And, you know, talk about the scrapyard because it has like, you know, such good production and like so many people, like so many cameras and like, you know, so many like different amenities and different things like that. And I think that the West Coast is on its way to being like, you know, a little bit better than them. So, you know,
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them, but yeah, what you're saying, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, it's only up from here, man. It's only up from here, and you know, I think this is a exciting addition and something to you know, keep the branch fresh, keep the organization going, keep the fighters, you know, on their toes, and to keep the fans, you know, waiting for more. So definitely looking forward to next year, big things popping. Will we at least be seeing you at events from time to time? You know, we can't ask you to fight, you know, going into the amateurs, but what about a little pop up here and there?
But yeah, you already know. Me and DTP, you know, Disturb the Peace, shout out to him. You
What
know,
up, guys?
dog right there, man. You know, me and him gonna be popping up for sure. And honestly, I talk about it all the time. After I won that fight with Takamura, he was the person to embrace me. Um, and all my emotions let loose in that moment. There's even a picture of me out there crying on his shoulder because the moment that he, like, you know, he embraced me, I realized that I worked for that moment. I,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, and I wasn't just a good fighter that people like anymore. I was the champ, and that hit so different for me, bro. And then right after that, he placed his hat on my head. And if you don't know the story behind that hat, man, he got that hat from his father, and he carries it with him everywhere. He wears it to his fights. You know, that hat's been on TV, on Power Slap, UFC. You know, tune in on Rumble. But you know, that hat had some sentimental value, and he placed it on my head as a crown, and it was such an indescribable euphoric feeling of success that I was overwhelmed with. And ever since then, you know, the cowboy hat look was a look for me, so I had to, you know, so you know, me and DTP definitely, you know,
See, look,
even
DJ
if
don't show up.
even if he's not there, like, you know, I'm gonna come through. I'm gonna come show my love because the West Coast, like I said, is always gonna be home. You know, I started there. I'm gonna represent the West Coast when I walk out. I'm gonna let them know, like, you know, when I go pro, I'm gonna let them know you tuned in to Streetbeefs West Coast. Like, you know, I'm gonna be saying that shit in front of thousands and thousands of people. You know, I'm gonna make sure y'all get y'all shout outs from me when I make it up there.
Yes, sir. And yeah, man, you're definitely on that path, man. You know, uh, there's fighters that you can definitely look at on the roster and be like, you know, yeah, I see him doing this. Yeah, I can see him doing that. Yada yada yada. You know, you're definitely one of those guys. You know, uh, the man too. You know, just unforeseen, untapped potential. You know, sky's the limit type shit. You know, and yeah, man, it's been a great ride, bro. Been a great ride. Great having you at the West Coast. You know, and you brought some, you know, classic fights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Who are some of Broly Black's favorite fighters?
Um, Talking about on my team or Street Beefs or pro in general?
Whatever you feel. Whatever, whoever, however.
But there's a guy named Nate Brown and DJ Nadia. You know, they're pretty good. My boy Owen Foster. Yeah, them some of my favorite fighters. Come here, hey, come say what's up, y'all.
What's good, y'all?
This my boy Nate Brown right here.
What's good, y'all?
You know,
What
he
up?
was
What
one
up, man?
of the winners at our last event that we had for the Self-Made Night of Champions.
Okay, congrats. Congrats.
Yeah, this guy right here, he's a beast. One of my favorite sparring partners as well. DJ, come say hi. You undefeated son of a bitch.
What up, man? What up, man?
So, guys, nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah.
You in good company.
This guy right here is a phenomenal boxer. His technique, his IQ, his ability to, like, you know, step in there and land shots is impeccable. Like, his shot selection, I get mad, frustrated trying to fight him because he cracks. He reminds me why I need to keep my hands up. Yeah, most certainly.
That's what's up, brother.
Favorite pros? Yeah, of course. Favorite pros? I'd have to say, you know, T-Bud. Bud's my man. Fucking love that man right there. I watch his film.
I know, bro.
That bike is loud. That bike is
I
loud.
like, oh, for real? Yeah, my bad. I didn't know. I just called to do the thing, bro.
But, oh yeah, and one more time, this right here.
Don't mind the crazy hair.
This is one of my coaches. This is Owen Foster right here.
How you guys doing?
What's up, brother?
Our GOAT. This is our greatest of all time. This is the man who puts belt to ass on every man in this gym. So, you know, gotta appreciate him. He was actually the first person I ever sparred in this gym. First person I ever sparred, and he cracked my shit. And
Trying to be nice, but
nah,
I mean, he came here and put in the work, so.
Hey, sometimes that's how it be, man. But you know what? How they say iron sharpens iron. So, you know, he came out here and did the damn thing.
We appreciate y'all for sure. Keep
So,
up. We're gonna get to work though. We got fights coming up next week, man. We appreciate y'all.
absolutely, absolutely.
yes, sir. But yeah, Terrence Crawford, Mason, Abdullah Mason. Oh my God, great fighter. His technique is great. Who else? Like all time, you know, I give my credit to Ali and Tyson and Roberto Duran. Like, you know, he's actually one of the people who inspired, like, you know, what we do here. We have a mural being painted of him on our wall in here. We have one of our compound shirts actually signed by him right here. All right.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Sir, we got it framed and everything. So, you know, Roberto Duran is definitely one of the guys that, you know, we look up to. Oh, and while I'm talking about the GOATs, we got the official, like, Clash of the Titans right here, the poster.
Hell yeah.
Here. You know, Streetbeefs fighters, you know, shout out to the man, shout out to Talk, shout out to my boy Sam K. But Broke Mark is one of, like, you know, the most technical and, like, you know, one of the best fighters I've seen out of there in a long time. I love that guy. He is hilarious. Like, you know, I love the way he fights. He's just really entertaining to watch.
Absolutely.
100%. Who else? Man, there's so many great fighters that I know personally from the West Coast. But yeah, I gotta say that those are my tops right there. You know, just to state a few.
Solid picks, man. Solid picks. Yeah, man. Broke Mark, I mean, no, I was just saying solid picks. Solid picks. Broke Mark is definitely on another level for sure. Can you hear me? You there? You went out. You went out.
How's that?
Yeah, I can hear you now. No, I was just saying he's definitely one of those ones, bro. Marcus, he's one of them ones for sure. For sure.
Going to the going pro soon. I can't wait to see him go pro. Oh my God. We
And
won
the
our
thing is
championship.
like, huh?
Won our championship the same day too.
Oh yeah, that's right, huh?
We won against I forget his name, but he went against that one dude the same day I fought Talk, and we took a picture with the belt together because we was both the champ.
Sure did, man. Yeah, man. He's another one of them that's been on a roll, been on a serious roll. And I think he's only been with us for a year. So it's like when you put that in consideration, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But shoot, man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up, bro. If there's any shout outs, any plugins you want to go ahead and do, now's the time, brother.
Well, first and foremost, shout out to my team, the Compound. Shout out to my coach Drew Foster and all my teammates. Shout out to my boy Sammy. You know, love that guy. One of the best cooks at my job, and probably in the city, probably in the nation. He's a great cook. Shout out to my boy 40. Shout out to my camera woman Teresa Wilson. She's actually the one who made the highlight reel that I sent you, that you guys showed. She
Pretty dope too.
She's great, man. Like her ability, she's the best. She's our GOAT as well. You know, if you look on our Instagram page at the Compound LBC, she makes all of our content. She does all of our filming, everything. She's phenomenal at what she does. She even does separate videography and photography work if anybody ever wants to get with her. Her Instagram is at it's TDub on Instagram, and you know, just reach out to her, you know, show her some love, and yeah, man. Oh, shout out to my bartender Ryan. I love that guy. Love that guy.
Does the champ get free drinks from time to time? Let's find out.
I don't drink much, but if I ever do decide that I want me one of them peanut butter whiskey shots, you know, he'll
Ooh, that do sound good.
It's screwball all the way.
Man, I ain't much of a drinker, you know, but brown, peanut butter brown, that sound right.
Get down with the brown for sure.
Yeah. Any other shout outs or plugins you need? Where can people reach you? Where can they find you?
On Instagram at Broly Blakk. You know, BROLY BLAKK. You know, it's the way, you know, how I spell it. Everywhere on all platforms. I'm literally Broly Blakk everywhere. On Facebook is Derek Chisholm II, you know, just to give y'all the government name. But yeah, that's me. You know, you'll see me on y'all TV. I might just pop up on y'all feed pretty soon. You know, my page is growing, so I might be in somebody's algorithm pretty soon.
Hey, that's the goal. That's the plan, man. It's to share and get you guys outreach spread further and further, you know. So guys, like, share, comment. It doesn't hurt. It's all about love.
Huge thanks to Scarface for coming to that fight, man. It was an honor to meet him, like, you know. And I know he had some good words about me, so I got to give some good words back, man. I was fangirling pretty hard that day. I was real happy to see him there and to know that he had his eyes on me. It meant a lot, like, you know, especially me making my exit on the way out of Streetbeefs West Coast. You know, it was an honor to have been able to meet him and to know that he was present for, you know, my last fight. So moving forward, I wish him the best. So, you know, shout out to Chris Wilmore, because, you know, without him, we wouldn't even be here.
Facts. Well, shit, man. I just got to say, man, once again, thank you for your time, brother. Thank you for all the great moments over the years, and you have a great night, bro.
You have a better one, Sam K. I'm gonna reach out to you soon. I'll be back in Vegas soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Much love.
Peace.
Later.
Another great show, guys. Another great show. First and foremost, I want to thank our guest tonight, the light heavyweight champion. You've seen it, Blakk. Thank you all for watching. Everyone who's been live, everyone on replay. Appreciate y'all. Everyone in the comments, appreciate y'all. Shout out to the OG Yard. Shout out to the West Coast. Shout out to the Dirty South. We appreciate and do this for y'all. Once more, if you guys are unaware, next year we will be having the Big Dog Belt going out there. For those who want it, sign up for the tournament, the Dirty Boxing Tournament, and shoot your shot. See if you can win the belt. Once again, shout out to Jay. We kill it every week. Thank you, bro. No matter what, technical difficulties or not, we make a great show every week, and can't do it without you. Shout out to Heart in the Fight. Shout out to Overtime Hustling. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man. As we say every episode, one world, one love, deuces.